Greetings and welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. I'm Alyssa Simmons, and I'm joined today by my pals, Daniel Dawson.
Hello there.
And Dino Nicandros.
Hello.
And today we are talking about the first 2 episodes of the Disney Plus Marvel series, Agatha All Along. This is episode 1, Seekest Thou the Road, and episode 2, Circle Sewn with Fate, Unlock Thy Hidden Gate. And by God, we're Marvel fans.
I don't know who you are or where you came from.
I am Iron.
I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
Smells like a new car in here.
Inside the Tauntaun, this is our opening song. Alyssa, Daniel, Dino, talking nerd stuff, come along. Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.
We're all back together again. 3 of us.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean,
Your Lord of the Rings episode, and this is not an exaggeration, was the worst thing I've ever listened to.
I understand. I also it's so funny. I literally
embarrassment.
Shut up.
No, but to be perfectly frank, I was watching the latest episode of The Lord of the Rings last night, and I realized that I made a huge Lord of the Rings gaffe.
No one yelled at no, none 4 of the viewers yelled at you. So
yeah. So apparently we're in the clear, but it was a pretty big one.
What mistake did you make?
I called what's his face? Tom Bombadil. I think I
yes.
called I'm always like it happens all the time.
I remember when you did it and I was like, yeah, who did you call him?
Belagast, which is
Belagast.
It's not the same.
No.
It's not the same.
Not. That's very wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong. But to be fair, I will play devil's advocate. To be fair.
Oh, you said devil! Whoa!
Mephisto. We're going right into Mephisto.
Good.
I mean, it's a Jack Schaefer show. We have to.
You mean
right?
Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah, obviously.
Right. The Aubrey Plaza special.
The first time you read any Lord of the Rings, it's incredibly confusing because he makes the names so similar to one another.
He does. But
Like
Tom Bombadil
like-
and Belagast are very, very different.
Yeah.
Like Sauron and Solomon, it's like
Saruman, yes.
It may as well be the Bible. Like you're just like, oh yeah, that
Sauron
guy.
and
Wait,
Salamander.
no, that's the wrong guy. I remember
Yeah.
that happening when I was like, 13, 14, reading them for the first time. So
Well,
very rude.
thank you for that, Alyssa, but he was really wrong. And
Just
you
wrong.
You're mad at him?
shouldn't-
You're mad
he
at him for
shouldn't
being an
speak
idiot?
about it.
I've embarrassed myself. I've embarrassed my family.
And you were jiggling around the Cimmerillion the whole time, like you knew every single word of it.
I know I have the.
Wow.
I even looked it up in my Tolkien Middle Earth fucking shit.
Well.
Anyways, wow.
Well-
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about Agatha all along? Because we are in a bit of a time crunch today. I'm just going to keep us on track.
In your bed.
So let's start with where
Digit.
Agatha finds the beginning of the show finds our characters and where this fits in, because it does do a little bit of the legwork for us. But if you did not watch WandaVision, I don't know why you're watching.
Why
the
are
show,
you watching
and-
this if you didn't watch WandaVision?
I mean, that being said, Catherine Hahn is an absolute treasure. So
Yes.
I feel like you can get some level of
You
enjoyment
can
out of
definitely
it. But
enjoy it, but like you're not going to understand why any of this means anything.
no, if you're not a Catherine Hahn fan, and if you're not like, if you didn't watch Wanda, there's no point.
But we find ourselves 3 years post WandaVision.
Yes.
In real life and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They've
Yes.
timed it up that way. So when last we saw Agatha, she was living as a woman named Agnes under the spell of the Scarlet Witch, following their climactic battle at the end of that show. And running simultaneously to that, while Agatha has been in a trance, the Scarlet Witch was seemingly crushed in an attempt to bury herself and the Darkhold, and that, of course, happened in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
When she actually she made a point to destroy all Darkholds in
yes.
every universe.
Yes. So we find Agatha's still living under this spell, and that's quite literally where the show picks up in. And she's
And
living
apparently
out.
Wanda made her into a lesbian.
Well, or she was always one. And Daniel, you already
no,
did
that's
it.
not how it
Wait,
works.
he
That's not how it
didn't
works.
make
It's
it.
always a witch's spell.
Oh, it's
I
see.
That
I
turns
see.
you into a
I mean,
Where
lesbian.
did
it's
you learn that?
science.
From the Acolyte?
No, from Mike
From your-
Christian.
No, we don't talk about the Acolyte. It was canceled. We don't talk about
For
that
sure.
anymore.
God. So,
Oh my God.
I have to scrub our channel of any mention of the Acolyte.
Yeah, that's
just
probably
delete
smart.
that. We delete the like 2 episodes that we covered on it. It's gone. It's like it never existed. So how did you both feel about the style of the first episode being like obviously
Fucking loved it.
an ode to the Mayor of Easttown and what's the other show is a Danish show called what was it called The Killers?
I
that
wasn't
they're-
familiar with it, but I knew what they were going for with the.
Yeah, yes, it is called Hello. I don't know, I wrote it down.
Germ Herflinger.
The Killing. Sorry, not The Killers.
Okay.
Yeah, The Killing. And it was so funny because like when it started, I was like, why is she acting like Kate Winslet in the Mayor of
yeah, right.
Easttown right now?
Absolutely perfect.
But that was legitimately what they were doing. And I
think
gotta
it-
hand it to Jack Schaefer for nailing the style again on a completely different genre of television after she did such brilliant things with WandaVision.
Yeah.
All
and the
those different
accents
styles.
even.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
Yeah.
I love the nuance in Catherine Hahn's performance right off the bat, in that
Mm-hmm.
you still see Agatha's personality in this cop character, this detective character, and
Well, because there keeps saying there's like moments, numerous moments where she kind of, yeah, it's not super obvious, but like you can tell that she's struggling, like she
Yes.
kind of.
Oh yeah,
she kind
she's
of
trying
comes-
to, in a similar way that all the people in Westview in WandaVision were like starting to become aware that they were
Something
being
feels wrong.
They were being controlled in some
Yeah.
way.
Like I remember,
yeah, it was really
I don't
interesting.
remember things, and that's weird to me.
Yeah,
I will say it was interesting, and in the very similar fact, I think it did a great job in kind of matching the vibe of WandaVision, where like there was that moment in the beginning where like they're taking it so seriously, for the most part. There's times where they kind of like let loose and just like, this is funny, but like but there was times where like I was confused, like, oh God, should I be really scared, or should I be like laughing at this, because they're equal parts funny and also kind of creepy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it was right off the bat. I was like, if this is the general feel of this show, even with the stylistic differences, because I was like, I don't think we're going to be living in this style. Like, in episode 1, I was like, I don't think we're going to be here very long.
Yeah,
But
we were actually there longer than I expected, to be honest.
yeah. The general tone of the show is a dark comedy, which
Yeah.
I am really thrilled about.
Yeah,
And I feel like it is right now from these 2 episodes is a really good balance between the two. So
agreed.
yeah, it got there for me. I have to say, there were. I'm still getting used to Teen, who's played by Joe Locke.
yeah,
That element is still. I'm not sure their dynamic quite works for me yet.
Okay.
Mostly because she's so quick to.
shut him down.
I don't know. Like, do you want to go on a journey down a really dangerous, witch's road with,
Yeah.
angsty teen? And that's not a critique of Joe Locke's performance. It's just
No.
Yeah, the relationship didn't get there quite yet for you.
But
to be,
I am interested in the 2 moments where he tries to, or where she asks his name, and
and then when
it
he's
gets
telling
washed
his
out, and then
history
life
of
story. So I'm curious. I actually don't have a good theory on what that is yet, but I'm sure some more eagle-eyed Marvel fans.
I have 2.
Okay, great.
And also, My guess, like with his sort of banter, like with her, and it's why it might seem a little off. Might be purposeful because, like, in the sense of like where when we're in Westview and under the hex, like everything feels like there's like we're kind of like right on this like very subtle line of like this is a funny comedy show and like a really spooky like oh something's not quite right because like I think it's not what it seems. I think that
Sure.
that Joe Locke's character is like even though we don't see his name being spoken. So obviously there's that mystery, but even then I feel like there's a reveal to be had that he's not like being himself.
Oh yeah, for sure. So my first thought when they announced just the casting of the show was that potentially
he's the Heartstopper's kid, right?
Yeah, and you haven't seen that show,
I
so
still
you're a
haven't
very
seen
very
it.
very bad homosexual.
You're right.
You've got to see that, Daniel. You'll love it. It's so cute.
That's what everybody says.
It's really cute. Anyways, my first thought was that he was potentially a grown-up Wiccan.
Right. I think that's of like
there's a lot of, but as we know from WandaVision, this is heavily a mystery storytelling. So there's going to be red herrings, and there is no need. We can talk about Easter eggs, and we can talk about it, but I mean, as we know, it's not the most helpful thing in the world to try to figure that out.
We will inevitably do it again, but
I have a full list of Easter eggs that I intend on sharing, but as we know, it's not going to be quite what we thought was going to come of WandaVision.
I mean, like from WandaVision, I should just say last season because this is sort of like a second season.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
With what's his face? Like Wanda's sister that ended up not being Boner. What's his name?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Quicksilver.
Yeah. Evan Peters.
Yeah. I think in similar vibes.
Yeah. So my thought when they announced casting was potentially that, but now I think, and it could, like I said, I'm gonna full disclosure say that this could be a red herring that they're tricking us. But I think that he potentially is Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch.
That I've heard that as well, and I could go
for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason being that in the comics, Agatha sacrifices her son, which there was a line about it about another child sacrifice.
Yep.
It was either episode 1 or 2, obviously.
It was in 2.
Was it in 2 when she was in the candle store?
Yes, right? Yes, because the witch she was just like another child sacrifice.
But the reason that I think that it potentially could be him is because in the comics, Nicholas Scratch is responsible for starting the Salem 7, which were those spooky ladies that were coming for them before they got onto the road.
They were his children in the comics,
they were. They were his children.
Her grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I was doing some perusal of.
Yeah. So that's potentially a cool thing, or it's an entirely different person, like you said, Daniel. Another big reveal that's coming, and they want us to be doing this. Like, who is he? Song and
I will
dance.
say to add credence to that, and whether or not, I mean, I think that even Agatha might think that that's who he is, which is interesting because, or like maybe not like fully consciously yet, but like subconsciously, because like in the beginning when she was like still under the hex.
Well, and he was in Nicholas's room when she caught him. You know what I mean? Like there's
and also picked up the the bunny named Scratchy from
right,
that we all thought, oh, that must have been Nicholas Scratch the whole time. But what I was going to say was in the first episode, when she's chasing him, like, down the street, and he gets hit by by freaking what's her face from that 70s show.
Yeah, Deborah Jo Rupp.
Yes. You can see in her face, like that was my first instinct when I like saw her, like instead of like a cop, you know, like her cop mentality completely dropped, and she almost had this sort of like motherly, like, oh my god, my child, like being hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that was purposeful, because like it felt too weird for like her like cop vibe to react as she did.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, I know that like
Also,
you probably,
the you know, at that point, the kind of like thread of reality is starting to be like pulled at,
Right.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Another very interesting thing. What was I going to say? Nope, never mind. It's gone. Nothing. There's no interesting
That's
thing.
so
There's
interesting.
nothing interesting
Just-
about this.
But early on, so that was maybe the first big question. I think something that happens very early on while she's in true crime mode is investigating the victim of being crushed, a crushed victim. We're led down this trail pretty quickly, and we are led to believe this is Wanda Maximoff.
Right.
There are several clues to that.
Red hair,
No.
spooky black fingers.
Right, and not
the
the
like,
soil not
chief-
being
yeah, the soil being
she's
from
been moved.
Europe.
The body has clearly been
Yeah.
moved. Which lends a very important question here, to which they give us two different answers, but I think one is more correct than the other. Is Wanda Maximoff actually dead? And
No.
while they say over and over again, yes.
Yeah, they even made I mean, there were lots of Wizard of Oz witch references, but
Yes.
yeah,
She's most sincerely dead.
she's most
She's
sincerely
most
dead.
sincerely
Yeah.
dead. Yeah.
They're telling us one thing and signaling another.
And by the
Name-
way, we need to say that we went to the screening with my sisters and
Aha.
Bruce Merkel.
Oh,
So
yes.
that was all the Wizard of Oz things were very thrilling
Oh,
for
gosh.
Bruce because
Yes,
It's
I'm
like,
sure.
oh my god, because there was like numerous in each episode, and obviously very
in the
purposeful.
credits, the end credits and stuff. Have
Yes.
the,
Yeah.
But they have signaled she is. She's probably alive. In that, on the one hand, Agatha expresses, I don't know, distrust for the idea that
that she's dead.
Yeah.
someone she could be crushed by something like that.
Mhm.
She said, I wouldn't be so sure.
Yeah, and I think that there's a world where both theories can be true. Like she may be dead on this plane, maybe. Like her earthly body might be like destroyed, but
But then there's it could very well be, and then there's the when they're looking at the body, and she has the toe tag where Wanda's name pops up on there, but then her name pops up on there.
Oh yeah.
So- which
Speaking
is
of the
like-
tag, did y'all catch any of those other dates?
I didn't
Oh,
look into the dates. I knew they were probably something. So
yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote it down. Yeah. Okay. So February 16th is Elizabeth Olsen's birthday. So that was
Perfect.
just a nice little nod to her.
Yes.
August 28th is Jack Kirby's birthday.
Okay.
December 28th is Stan Lee's birthday.
Perfect.
And June 2nd, this one I thought was a fun little witchy detail, was the date that Bridget Bishop was, she was the very first witch to be trialed and hanged in the Salem witch trials.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's
Okay.
fun little
Those are
detail
fun.
there. And obviously we're going to be, there's lots of mention of Salem and
Oh, yeah.
Agatha's history there that
Drownings and
potentially we're
hangings
going
and
to be.
burnings.
Yeah,
But-
that was a great line.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
do we not
But
really have any other
we're
updates
not doing anything
on
new
that?
these
or-
days. But I think the fact that Wanda's name appears and then Agatha's appears on the same tag perhaps suggests they're both depowered, and that Wanda is
Mm. Sure.
alive, but
It's the death
dead
of
in the
their
witch
power.
sense. Yes.
The death of their power, but not their body. That's
Yeah.
I actually
I
didn't
like
think
that.
about that, but that is interesting. There is another theory running around out there, that it being a book, like library card, you know, and the whole scene where she goes to the library looking for the book.
It's torched, yeah.
But they've all been destroyed,
Right.
which I think they're talking about the Darkhold, obviously.
Yes.
And referencing the fact that she did destroy all the Darkholds in the multiverse. That the Wanda's body might be just a like a placeholder for the Darkhold itself. Yeah.
Could
That
you
was like a
explain
Reddit
that
theory?
more?
Well, so for instance, the and the what do you call it? The card being on the body,
Yes.
like
Uh-huh.
the library card being on the body, and with the, and so in the order of who held the
Yes.
Darkhold first.
Yes.
So Wanda was the last person to hold it, and
Yes.
then right before that was Agatha.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really the only hint is the card itself and the fact that it is related to the Darkhold, and it is in the order of who had the Darkhold last. But again, it's because like nothing is what it seems.
Right.
We're
Yeah, I just
being-
wondered if maybe there was like a comic storyline to back up that theory, or it's just like
yeah, I don't
it's
know
just
about
like
that. Yeah, it's just a theory.
observation.
I think that WandaVision has you know, warped our fragile little minds, and is really, but I mean in a good way, because I think it's making us all think outside the box, because you can't take anything at face value in this series.
no, and it's meant to be a fun frolic, you know.
A frolic.
Yeah.
But I think all that being said, I don't even think this show was necessary for the confirmation, but I don't think Scarlet Witch is deceased.
Yeah, or really, it's definitely not
yeah,
the
yeah.
last time we've seen her.
Right.
In any form.
I did enjoy.
Yeah, go ahead, Dino.
No, I enjoyed. So we'll talk about this more in the context of her run-in with Aubrey Plaza's Vidal.
That's what I was just gonna go into Aubrey Plaza.
Oh well, then
so that's perfect.
Jump right in.
No, that was just where I was gonna pivot us to. So I guess we were doing the same thing.
Did you feel like a heat in your loins?
Did you? Is the question.
Did you? Yeah, did you?
I felt funny feelings.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, our theater.
Oh,
which was like
screaming.
It was like
when it
fun
happening.
because we were like it was like we were at the movies, you know.
We
so
were-
like,
but
and
also
there
I
was
feel
a
like we
gaggle
were
of
randomly
there was a gaggle of gay girls sitting behind us.
Oh boy,
and
You're
so
surrounded.
I mean, it was palpable. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Everyone.
Well, first it was like her naked body, you know,
Right.
and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah, it was definitely palpable, but like the perfect amount of tension, in my opinion. If
Yeah.
it was, I mean, it was walking the line. If it had been, don't get me
The
wrong.
licking the
Obviously,
hand was
I'm
a little
here
like,
for. I'm
whoa.
here for it. I'm here for it. I'm not fighting this at all. But if it had been a little bit less, I would have just been like, okay, they have a history of some kind. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, specifically the women in our theater were like,
Literally, and that's not even an understatement. I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
kidding. They were
these
loud.
ladies were screaming.
They were
It was
thrilled.
so funny.
It was very funny. This person
but yeah,
behind me kept going, "Oh my god!"
But yeah, you could tell that they were. I was glad for it though. They weren't trying to, because I think in ages past when we were kind of when Disney was kind of flirting with the idea of queer relationships, it was always just kind of like the hintiest of hints. But this is like it's leaving no crumbs. They are lesbians. They had a lesbian relationship.
There's a complicated backstory. Now they hate each other's guts.
Right.
And so,
like most lesbians.
But not enough.
Like most-
Look, why? If you hate someone that much, why wouldn't you just kill them? So
yeah. So it's complicated, which is
because love. Because love.
love and hate are, you know,
Yeah, they're very.
kissing,
that's it.
kissing cousins sometimes.
But what does
Kissing
what
cousins.
does Rio Vidal stand to gain from Agatha being repowered? Is the question I have.
That's a very interesting thought.
Maybe
'Cause,
just
yeah, you're right.
potentially the ability to like take her power because she knows like how,
She's like, oh, that's something we can do. I want to do that. Well,
or she just wants to truly like, I don't know. It was an interesting moment for sure where she was like about to kill her.
But then she said something very mysterious where she says, like, I can't remember the exact wording, but it was basically like, we're not allowed to kill each other.
Right.
Yeah, Agatha
So-
said, you
It's
know
like,
that
by
you're not
what
allowed.
right?
You know you're not allowed to kill me.
Yeah.
But I could make you I could make you wish you were dead. But
Mhm.
but yeah. So what is the rule here?
Potentially some, I don't know, maybe they're bound together by some like
Some
Yeah.
witchy
some
pact
really
where...
spooky like covenant.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, or it might be even like a you know, some kind of like I'm really thinking outside the box here, but like some kind of witchy ritual, witchy ritual.
Witchy ritual.
Good. Witchy ritual.
I found a good warm up. But yeah, some kind of witchy ritual where two witches like want to be bound. Like,
Yeah, I think
you know,
they're bound
for
together by
life.
some type of
like
either curse or
The unbreakable
spell.
vow.
Oh, but no, I think like in it's like in a more romantic sense. Like
Yeah,
maybe at some
maybe.
point they were like, I want to never, like, I want us to always be together and like never be the reason one of
Well,
us
and
dies or something
should
like that,
one
you know
of
what I mean?
them, you know, kill the other one, like maybe it means that they also die or that they're powerless or you know what I mean?
Right.
Something
So-
like that.
You bring up a point though. So because they have this pact, whatever it is, their lesbian marriage in witchdom, they maybe maybe this is the reason why she wants Agatha to go down the witch's road, because it's like how everybody keeps saying like, oh, it's a surefire way to die, like you might as well just kill yourself kind of thing. I think that she's probably maybe banking on it, maybe, you know what I mean, because like if she can't kill Agatha, then there's got to be some kind of loophole there where like she can like, you know, have somebody else do it for her kind of thing.
Well, I mean, she does alert the Salem 7 as to where she is, so that makes me think, I don't know, maybe she was trying to encourage her to walk the road without actually encouraging her to walk the road, but again, for what purpose?
Yeah, it's hard to say because I'm kind of, but yeah, which is good. I like the fact that it's got me so mystified. But it could really be like a flip of a coin for me. It's either she wants her dead or she's like, I love you so much, but I also fucking hate you. Like I'm, you know, I'm confused.
Yeah,
in a good way.
It's complex, and obviously it's not the end of it because she is obviously the black heart needed to complete the coven.
But I love. I was kind of worried that, like, you know, they were gonna do the Ballad of the Witches Road, and then it wasn't gonna work, and then they were gonna have to go get it because But I'm so happy that it did, because now we get to have that 70s show lady the whole
Deborah
time.
Jo.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah, she's hilarious, and
She's so and it's such a perfect foil for like all these people who are like already super dark witches, and she's like, you know, completely the opposite.
right.
Opposites are funny.
Yeah, there was with all of them in the basement, and like her line about like, oh no, I don't do drugs. It was like so funny, obviously, for all the That 70s Show fans.
Yes, because it like the whole camera angle
and they
too,
were
like going in a
spinning,
circle.
too. Like
Yes.
it was
absolutely
super fun.
And I love that she's just like, am I supposed to know the words to this song?
Yeah, we need her in that group because everybody takes themselves pretty seriously.
Very seriously. Yes. Yeah, I so happy that she's in it. It was fun to see all the other Wanda people too. I'm curious if it was just sort of
it was just the first episode,
yeah,
the neighbors and
First
stuff.
few residents, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could
Uh-oh.
There's been a pause. If you're listening, this is a real thinking pause.
He's
If you're just
had
listening
an
to this.
apostrophe.
I've had an apostrophe.
I must have heard.
The character Morgan Le Fay in the comics, she's a famous witch, but she comes from Arthurian legend. She and Agatha, I believe, have a history in the comics.
Okay.
And I'm thinking of this now because I remember reading, I don't know, like 6-8 months ago, I remember reading that perhaps that character would be involved in the show in some way. And because the only reason I'm bringing her up is because
Why are you
I
bringing her
keep
up?
wanting to call Aubrey Plaza's character Gore Vidal, but this is not Gore Vidal. This is Rio Vidal.
Uh-huh.
Different.
Very different, but maybe still gay, but very, very different.
Right.
Gorbachev.
But because this Vidal character has been created for the MCU, but has been called a Blackheart, or she references her Blackheart.
Yeah, she references her Blackheart.
There are, I know, it's just slap me now. I'm gonna say it, just
do it. Just do it.
There are Mephisto links with black-hearted witches.
Okay.
Morgan Le Fay being one of them. So I wonder if this is another case of like we're kind of eye winking at you for paying attention, or are they going to maybe combine some of those story elements? And
No, let me help fuel your fire a little bit because
Fuel it.
Yeah, here I go. Here I go.
No. Remember how we said at the
Buckle
beginning
up.
we weren't going to Mephisto this, but here we are.
Oh no, we're
Buckle up,
going
ladies and
already.
gentlemen.
I'm
It's kind of it's a light thing, but for me it was my mind
Just a little
fully
light
went
Ultron.
Yeah. Diet. But my mind immediately went there. And maybe that's just because I'm a Christian. But the in the scene where they're where Wanda, they're in the morgue. Or is it the morgue? I guess it's the morgue. It's the place where they do the autopsies.
Yeah, it was a morgue.
Yeah, the morgue. And Agatha is there. She's struggling, and she's like starting to, strip off all the layers, which I thought was a really cool sequence.
That was fun. That was really fun.
Very, very fun. But her girlfriend is there watching the whole thing, and kind of like taunting her, and all the while, Agatha mentions like, is it hot in here? Like
Yeah.
referencing the heat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, it's clearly a flirtation, but
it could mean very numerous things. But to me, my mind went immediately to like, oh, Aubrey Plaza is like, she's the
It's
devil.
emanating heat.
there's very much a double meaning here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that I don't know. I'm either or about not Nicholas Scratch.
Yeah, wherever Rio Vidal falls, I don't think Rio Vidal is Rio Vidal.
Like that's just
Yeah, I feel you.
I think there's a safe bet they're going to maybe combine character traits from several.
Well, that's definitely
Marvel comics, but
a thing that they have had success with in the MCU is taking from a couple of different characters or storylines or whatever and making the thing that kind of makes the most sense and serves whatever project the best. So
that being said, she's probably not Mephisto.
I don't think she is
but
Mephisto
potentially there's
because
some
we already have
ties.
because I know we've had rumors and everything, but has it been an official confirmation that Sacha Baron Cohen is playing Mephisto?
I
don't think it's official. I think that was like still.
Is it still
conjecture?
rumored?
It's still very much a ruin. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so
Or,
I guess if
or
that's
it was
the case,
like he was in talks of doing something with the MCU, and everyone was like, "It's Mephisto."
Oh, he's
you know what I
Mephisto
mean?
for
So,
sure.
Yeah, it's like that situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, the devil's very cunning. Maybe Mephisto's just like appearing to Agatha as the people that she would want to see or not want to see. I don't
So to travel the Witch's Road, this is
Yes.
perhaps the
Yes,
You have to
let's-
be a
biggest-
Broadway star.
the biggest piece of lore. You need a Broadway. You need Broadway
Legend.
royalty to do this,
obviously.
But not an equity one.
but not an equity one, a non-union.
Who's somehow back on Broadway though.
right?
Is she?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's in a play right now with what's her face.
Is she like the first non-equity person to be on Broadway? I'm very
sure
curious.
I'm sure they worked out some sort
I
of
think
guest
they-
Some
contract
sort of
I
special
think-
contract, guest artist contract. She tafted Hartley.
Yes.
Taft Hartley. Yeah.
But for one to walk the Witch's Road, for a witch to walk the Witch's Road, you need a coven of witches of varying and specific skills. So that is
5, one for each point of the pentagram.
Thank you. Math is fun.
Now
Isn't
say,
it?
now, do you have the list of the
I do.
witchies?
So we have none other than Patti LuPone playing Lilia Calderu.
Who's
Love.
got really fun ties to Wanda in the comics, by the
Oh,
way.
really?
Would you like to
Yeah.
fill us in on?
Oh
on
yeah,
said-
sure. Let me see if I think I
Phyllis.
wrote that down.
Fill
Phyllis.
us with the let of death.
Keep talking, and I'll
Yes,
get
I
back to
know
it.
she had ties to Doctor Strange universe, Baron Mordo. She's got a fun history. So she's the first one. She's big on divination. And you know what? I do have to give Patty her props.
She's really good in this part.
And
She's honestly, she's always. I've seen her on TV before. She's like, she's a great actress.
she really is. And when given the chance to be very nuanced and understated in a way that no musical theater truly
No.
allows for,
Right.
yeah, no.
but she is very, very capable. And I thought out of the 4 they introduced, I think she's my favorite at the moment. Just from
I think same.
I like
Yeah.
how grounded she is, but then she has the insanity, just the
Yeah, she's got the normal Patty, like
Right.
she's
Just
the,
like,
get off
and then
me
just-
scream and stuff. So yeah, in the comics, Lilia and Wanda have got an interesting. She's kind of like her adoptive aunt and mother
Okay.
in the comics. So yeah, they've got an interesting backstory.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm dog sitting right now, and one of the dogs is doing something weird,
Being doggy.
being a
God's
little dog.
We then have Jennifer Kale, who is played by Sashir Zamata, and she's living her best life in a candle. What would we call these candles? They're probiotic candles.
Oh, right, yeah, because you can eat them, right?
Facing
But apparently they
a
burned
great many
everyone.
lawsuits. Yes.
Yeah. The thing about it is that it was just like so Los Angeles that I was like,
Yes,
this doesn't even sound weird. It sounds
It's very perfect.
exactly right.
it was another scene that I was actually really surprised with, like but I think you have to know in order to have. Although no, but she said she made the Kegels joke, so it's not really beating around the bush at all. But about the jade eggs that are supposed to like go in your vagina, and the fact that she's
Great.
just like, you want to go splitsies on one? So funny. disgusting.
Nobody does like snark quite like Catherine Hahn. I feel like
Yeah.
she's
Wow.
Yes.
she gets it. Yeah, she
But
gets
yeah,
it.
I'm really curious about like
So she's
what
the
benefits
potions-
people get.
She's
from
the
putting
potions
shades
Yes.
woman.
And
Yes.
she has a very interesting comics origin as well. She was at one point a member of the Legion of Night and the Midnight Suns, which is an upcoming. Midnight Suns is a rumored upcoming Marvel project. So interesting.
Might not be the last time we see her.
Correct.
Sorry, another confirmation about who I believe it was confirmed that that we will see more Aubrey Plaza
I
yeah,
have no.
that doesn't-
after this.
Yes,
Yeah, of
I think
course.
that is very safe to
That's
say,
an easy guess.
especially if she's Morgan Le Fay. But anyway.
Yeah.
We then have Alice Wu Gulliver, who's played by Ali on, excuse me.
Leon.
Her story in this one, she's the daughter of a famous rock performer. But in the comics, she was the magical guardian of Hong Kong
Oh, cool.
Okay.
and also a cop.
Very
yeah,
cool.
I knew that
So-
she was also a cop in the. So
So those are the three new ones, or the three new introductions, and then we have Deborah Jo Rupp playing Mrs. Hart from WandaVision, who is your Green Witch,
I'm so happy.
who doesn't know what the F is going on.
it's too good.
But I like how she's just game to kind of do
Yeah.
it.
It's just
Super
yeah,
along for
just-
the ride because she's probably she said that her husband passed away, so she's like probably retired, so she's just
She's
like
looking
I got
for a
nothing else to
second
do.
act. Right.
It's like, oh my god, I have friends.
Yeah. Speaking of The Witch's Road, if you are a comic reader or you want to read comics to kind of like go alongside Agatha, there's a run of the Scarlet Witch comics from 2015 called The Witch's Road, where Wanda journeys across the globe to fix broken witchcraft.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
I'm guessing that they're and I have not read that, by the way, but I'm guessing that they're pulling a lot of storyline from that here because spoiler alert. So if you don't like spoilers, skip ahead like 30 seconds right now. A lot of the upcoming scenes that they've posted online and stuff look like they're potentially in different, eras and different places in the world. So which makes sense given the creator and writer and director of this show liking to do very different stylistic stuff.
Oh, sure. And that will give them a lot of flexibility. Yeah.
But because we have this coven is necessary to walk the road, I do think it would be helpful, really for us as well. To discuss maybe, at least in the context of Marvel Comics, what is the Witch's Road?
Yeah.
And for that, we can go directly to Marvel.
.com.
And yes, this is from the Marvel.com. What is the Witch's Road? It is a mysterious, mystical dimension that only certain magic users and those summoned by them can enter. It is the home of the goddess of witchcraft, a cosmic entity that serves as the source of magical power for witches and warlocks who perform magic using spells and phrases, and for the descendants of mystics who have inherited their powers. The Witch's Road is also the home of Chaos, a lesser abstract being who acts as partner to the goddess of witchcraft by helping her magic break the physical rules of reality. The Witch's Road contains various monsters, demons, and other mystical creatures influenced by the goddess's health.
That's chaos magic, Wanda.
So
Interesting.
And I think that we sort of we were sort of led to believe that Wanda has chaos magic and
yes,
Agatha has the other one.
So
What she calls her purple,
right.
which I think is so funny, because it's like very basic, but like, and I think that they're kind of poking fun at that, like
well, yeah, they
let's
just
not make it complicated. It's
decided
just it's my purple.
Yeah.
So the goddess of witchcraft. Assuming Marvel Studios has any interest in staying pretty true to the lore of the comic lore of the Witch's Road.
I hope it's as good as Madam Web. Oh,
Who could that
cross your fingers.
Dear God.
who could that be? And I don't know. What would be the difference between the Scarlet Witch and the goddess of witchcraft? Could there be links there? I'm just asking. I don't actually have an answer to any of these.
Yeah, I think
truly,
there definitely could be links there.
Well, I think I'd have to go back to the Scarlet Witch, like the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch, that in the Darkhold. Like, are they supposed to? Is this kind of like a sort of the like a version of like the Antichrist kind of situation where you have like the goddess and her daughter being like the Scarlet Witch kind of thing. Is that, am I going crazy? Am I insane?
I don't remember what the prophecy said, so
Prophecy.
I would need to. Do you have it pulled up, or you're just
No, I
kind of
don't.
reciting it from memory?
No, I'm literally just spouting a lot of lies.
Good, good.
But I do know that. I'm just gonna look it up now.
Agatha tells Wanda the Scarlet Witch is prophesied to destroy the world and that her power is greater than the Sorcerer Supreme's. The prophecy is revealed in the Darkhold, the Book of the Damned.
Yep.
Which states that the Scarlet Witch is forged and not born and has no need for incantation. The prophecy hints at her appearance in Doctor Strange, where Wong says that the Scarlet Witch is a being of unfathomable magic who can rewrite reality. But yes, we know all that. So the Scarlet Witch is going to destroy the world. I think that's
perfect.
Checks out.
And that hasn't happened yet, but it probably will.
Yeah, maybe.
She's coming back.
Oh,
she's coming back for what's it called? Avengers 5 and 6.
Right.
There was a rumor, by the way, since we're talking about it, that she is getting a standalone movie. That is the more recent rumor.
Do her justice.
And coming up relatively soon, actually. Or at least it's like, starting production relatively soon.
I watched her interview on Kimmel pretty recently because she's in another movie that just came out. I can't remember what it's called. Three Sisters or Three something. Or
I thought Know It.
I don't know. With Natasha Lyonne and some people. But yeah, if you want to watch the whole interview, it's pretty interesting. She's being so good and so cryptic about her return, but he's asking her questions and just being like, so I mean, she's dead, right? Wanda's dead. And she's like, well, it looks that way.
There was a red flash.
She's like, it looks that way. And he's like, but is it possible that she could be alive? And she's like, I mean, I guess so. Anything is possible. Like, she's like, she's like being very, very good about it. But then he ultimately asks her and if she would want to go back. And she's like, oh, I'm dying to go back. She's like, yeah. I love working on those movies. And so she's like, so I hope she's not dead. And I hope that we get some.
Give it a chance to come through.
And she was like, I hope that, the specific grouping of writers is selected to have it make the most sense, is what she said.
Yeah.
So the Russo brothers.
So it's the Russo brothers.
Secret Wars and
and
absolutely.
All that. Yeah.
She knows.
Also, interestingly, since we're talking about kind of the broader story regarding these characters, it's been floated and, if not officially confirmed, it might have been officially. I don't remember if it was an official confirmation or if it's just been heavily suggested that the Vision show, Vision Quest, is going to be the third in a trilogy of these shows that closes this arc.
That would be great.
Oh, you didn't know that, Alyssa? Yeah.
And that James
I mean,
Spader,
I heard it. I just didn't know if it, Dino said, I didn't know if it was rumor or actually.
To this.
Yeah.
Vision Quest we know Vision Quest is happening, but the specific link to these shows are being very closely bound to it. I'm unclear of, but I believe the idea is that this will be the closing chapter of the WandaVision story. And James Spader is returning as Ultron, and so we might actually. We laugh about it. We laugh about Mephisto and Ultron, but we might end up getting all of it just in a much broader.
Just not in the way
arc.
We anticipated.
Not calling it WandaVision, but
I will say too for sure about this show, and I'm really glad. I don't know if it was just that now Deadpool is technically in the MCU, and so they're letting them be a little bit more PG-13 R-rated.
Yeah.
But like, I'm really glad that they are doing like real witchy stuff.
The Salem 7 is friggin' scary.
They're scary.
Oh yeah,
That's-
there was some
that's-
exorcism.
Yeah, they're
like,
scary,
kind of vibes.
and I'm really glad that they went there, because I think it very easily could have been like, all right, so here we are doing kind of like slightly more mature hocus pocus, and like,
Yeah.
let's
Uh-huh.
not.
And
This
they've dipped their toes in it. Werewolf by Night.
exactly, yeah.
And then whenever Blade gets made, and Midnight Suns, same thing. I think you can really do what you just described, and I think Deadpool has given you the financial license to
Yes.
make that call.
Yeah, because there were definitely moments like, I mean, there was a jump scare that scared the crap out of my little sister Grace, and she like likes horror movies and stuff. So I was
Would
like,
you remember which moment it was?
I think it might have been. I
Well, it
think
was
it might
when
have
she
been
was-
when the witch crashed through the window.
Through the window, yes.
Maybe,
Yeah,
or
totally.
maybe it was another one. Maybe it was another one, but it really did startle her.
Or
And I
when
was
she
like,
crawled
oh
down
my
the stairs. Ooh.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah.
crap.
Ooh.
Which was
walking. It's
very
like
much
just
a
Exorcist.
callback to a cutscene from the original Exorcist. Which did you all see the when it came back to theaters?
Certainly
Like,
not.
No, I
oh
didn't see
man,
it in
it was
Absolutely
theaters. Are
just-
you
not.
kidding me?
Never.
Just wonderful.
I would never sleep again.
But they
Yes, Crab
they
walks down the stairs, right?
they restored that particular
God.
scene where she like walks backwards down the stairs.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
she crab walks down the stairs.
oh my god,
I've
amazing.
seen that
No.
scene. I just would never go to a movie theater to see it.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got 9 episodes total. So
And it ends
Oh, is it
October
9? Oh,
30th.
good.
I think the finale's October
yeah, October
30th.
30th are
so
the
that's fun.
last 2 come out.
I heard a
So they did a two release on the first day, and then a 2 release on the last day.
sick.
Yeah.
What do
So
we think-
yeah, we've got some really exciting stuff ahead, I think.
Yeah, I'm curious about this show. I'm not ready to give a obviously
your
we only-
feelings, yeah,
to give a
totally
yay or
on
nay
it
on
yet.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I want to see how it gets fleshed
Yeah, if
out.
it's gonna land the plane, I can say that like so far I am very much enjoying myself. It's like I think that I haven't said it yet, but like target audience has been reached. I am
For sure. So am
the
I.
audience
I
that they were
mean,
looking
it's-
for. Yeah,
It's witchy, it's gay, there's musical stuff in it.
it's
Now,
It's
sassy
just
okay,
the
and
so that
right
was
funny.
amount of spooky.
That was my question. Do we think the musical stuff predated the casting of someone like Patti LuPone, or did that come after the fact? Which came first,
That's a
the
good
song
question.
or the Patti LuPone?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I kind of beg to believe that they probably, because I think
And Catherine
I
Hahn's a
have
good singer too. So
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say.
So-
I would think Catherine is also a singer, so they're probably just like, yeah, we might as well.
Well, yeah, I
Um,
mean I feel like it was probably intended just because of how well Agatha All Along the song
Yes.
did
Yeah,
in
I think
WandaVision,
you're
and
right.
how much of a I think they won a Grammy for that
did.
song.
yeah.
They
They
did.
won a Grammy for that song.
Oh, by the
So-
way, I remember. I think afterwards we were saying like, "Oh man, they're totally gonna bring that song into the show," and we were like, "No, they're not." But I was like, they already did, and I completely like missed it. I didn't miss it. I just forgot about it. It was the when she takes off her last layer in
Oh,
that
yes.
scene. It's like a very slowed down version.
Yeah, it just wasn't-
Yes,
Yes, you're right. Because I was like, I was surprised they didn't use it honestly, like
immediately.
as the theme song.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
as a version of it, maybe like
Yeah.
a lot spookier or synth up or whatever.
And I should say the music is being done again by Christoph Beck, who
yes. Oh,
he did
great.
WandaVision, and he's been involved in other Marvel projects
yeah.
as well.
And the
so
Witch's Road, if you felt like it sounded like Frozen, it's because it did.
Lopez.
it's because it did.
Okay, if you're good at something, Do that.
If it's not
they have
broke,
Do
more
that
money than
and
I
make a
have,
lot of money
so-
doing it.
Right.
By
right.
God.
Correct.
I mean, they're drowning in money.
Yeah, they truly are.
All right. Well, that was the first 2
All
episodes
right,
of
awesome.
Agatha
Yeah.
All Along.
Exciting. I'm
there's so much
super
more to talk about, but we just
There is, yeah,
We're-
but trying to keep it short and sweet
We have no time.
today. But we'll be back. I don't know if we're going to do individual episodes or if we're going to do 2 or 3 at a time.
Well, we've discussed, and you all will be the second to know, because obviously we have to know first. But
Right.
but
Yes.
you will all be second to know.
Do you guys want to be here for this conversation? do you want to join us for our
It's going to
planning?
get violent. The Penguin, which is DC's
Yes.
newest offering on Max, which is in the Matt Reeves Batman universe, has come out to great critical acclaim, and we've discussed maybe alternating 2 episodes for
Penguin, 2 episodes,
Penguin and
Agatha.
2 for Agatha. But either way, I'm sure we will have something to say about that show as well
Oh, for sure.
in the coming weeks.
if not
Yeah,
just
we haven't
something.
we haven't covered that much DC content, but we have done a couple of Batman episodes.
And we did, we
Yes,
did
we
cover
have.
the Batman when it came out a couple years
Cover
ago.
the
So
Batman.
So exciting,
righto.
exciting time to be a nerd. Hope you're having a good time as well.
I definitely am.
Yeah, me too.
It's
All
gay
right,
now.
well, thanks for listening. This is Inside the Tauntaun. I'm Alyssa Simmons.
And I'm Daniel Dawson.
and I'm Dino Nicandros.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Inside the Tauntaun podcast. Please like and subscribe.